let's keep talking football. Let's talk NFL, more NFL, Cedric. And let's go to the, well, I'm going to call it a mess. I don't know what else to call it. It's the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph, the fight we saw on the field, and then the continuation of the fight in the NFL offices as Myles Garrett goes in to appeal his suspension, saying that Mason Rudolph used a racial slur. I mean, it goes from being ugly to sounding uglier. Cedric, what do you make of all of this?
First thing I'm going to say is I wasn't there when it happened, but why didn't any of Myles Garrett's teammates come out and say it? They were all on the field. Why didn't some of the Steelers come out? There are black guys on the Steelers offensive line, and that was all about offensive linemen and defensive linemen going at it, and Mason Rudolph caught there in the middle. So I'd like to call BS on it. I really would, but I wasn't there. Yeah. If you're asking me if I believe Myles Garrett, I do not. I do not, because I think someone else would have stepped forward and said, look, he said it. I was there. Jen, there's such a thing as NFL films.
Yeah.
Jen, they are all over. Guys mic'd up. There's always a guy on the field that's mic'd up, and there are microphones all over the field. The refs have microphones, Jen. If that had come out, the NFL, I believe, would have heard it.
Yeah.
I don't think it happened. I think Myles Garrett is grasping at straws. I don't think he's going to play again this year. I don't blame him for fighting for his appeal, but I think he messed up. I think he's going to have to take his medicine. And meanwhile, Mason Rudolph just lost his job to a guy named Duck. So that's how bad it is.
Yeah, lots of ramifications from that whole situation. But a couple things. I'm with you on all the cameras, all the mic'd up. That was a Thursday night game. So you've got, it's on its own. There's even more attention being paid. I don't know if that means more guys mic'd up or more TV cameras available, but I just think the amount of media that is really interlaced in the fabric of these games anymore. I mean, there was a video that came out over the weekend of one of the Dolphins players sitting on the bench trying to find his mom. No, that's not her. Not her. I mean, they've got
everything.
They've got so many guys mic'd up. You've got to think if it was said, it would have been heard. And said that the NFL seemed to allude to that they had no evidence that they could find that indicated anything was said. And I think they were listening to all those tapes and found nothing.
I believe that. And what's to keep one of Myles Garrett's teammates from going, Baker dropped an M-bomb, man. He dropped it.
Yeah.
I heard it. When is the last time a black person protected a white racist? Never? How about never?
Yeah.
So if it happened, I think someone would have heard it. Like I said, Jen, I wasn't there, but if you're asking me what I think that Myles Garrett lost his temper and did something out of character, and now he's looking for the biggest excuse to get back on that football field and recoup some of those hundreds of thousands he's going to lose.
Don't you think, too, Cedric, when you think about how this all played out, I mean, you mentioned that Myles Garrett didn't seem to indicate that this had happened to his teammates. But not only that, in the day after or day or so after the incident happened, he issued an apology. If Mason Rudolph had said something to him, don't you think he would have said to his people, I'm not apologizing. This guy said this, and we're not going to apologize. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to appeal this. To me, that's where you start to see even more of the disjointedness. Now, again, I'm with you, Cedric. Was not there, did not hear it with my own ears or not hear it with my own ears. But there's just, as you tile this up, it just feels like, and then to hear Myles Garrett making the comment that he didn't expect for this to go public. He didn't expect for this to be made public. Seems like to me it might have been something that he was saying in his appeal, thinking that might carry some weight, and it ultimately backfired on him. Again, I don't know if that's the case, but when you add all this up, it just seems suspicious to me, Cedric.
And one more thing, Jen. Why didn't he say it after the game when emotions were still running high? That guy dropped an M-bomb on me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't say it after the game with all the TV cameras there? No, you had your head down and you were sorry that it happened. You said you lost your temper. You lost your composure. and you hate that happened. The first thing out of my mouth would have been that, Jen, but he didn't even bring that up till days later.
Yeah.
Something doesn't smell right.
Yeah, definitely an unexpected twist to that whole saga. We thought it was bad enough, but then to have that brought into question. I think this will go on. These teams are going to play again. I think it's going to continue to be a storyline we hear about even in these coming weeks as the NFL really points towards the postseason.